Okay. We're live? Okay. We're live? Audio is coming through, so we're good to go for another Hogwarts Legacy stream, episode 88 with Ravenclaw House. Now, I did quite a bit off screen, mostly hunting down collectibles. But I wasn't able to keep track of every single one I picked up. Mostly because I was, well, getting distracted. But where's my notes? There they are. Now, where's the ones for Hogwarts Legacy? Okay. But I did pick up quite a few of the Conjuration ones I wanted for the Room of Requirement. Okay, I just want to see what ones I picked up. Okay, I got lights. And I got the feeding thing. There we go. I'll make that easier. Okay. Did I get the armchair? Yes, I did. Beep. Okay, that helps a lot. Okay, let's see what we can do here. We're very scientific for this one, aren't we? I believe so. It's not going to be perfect in the staircase. Righty, that should do for now on the banners. Hey, this is school. We gotta represent our school. Ooh, that sofa actually looks rather comfy. That actually does look rather comfy. Righty. Decorated scientific table. Yeah, I've seen worse. What else have we got? Okay, now I got the jack-o'-lantern. That way. I want you in the corner. That's a bit bigger than I was anticipating. That ought to do for now. Okay, so we're gonna meet up with Sebastian. But there's also a quest we can do for Sirona. And we can stop in Spintwitches. They're starting to get their Halloween decorations out.
If I thought I could compete with Sirona, I'd open my own pub in Hogsmeade. On second thought, I'd rather be the one.
Welcome back. I've arranged a special price on the broom upgrade for you. I truly appreciate all of your help. You'll be thrilled with that broom, I promise you. I must tell you, half of Hogsmeade's been by the shop asking about rumours of a broom upgrade. Without the information you provided, my work would have taken twice as long. Thank you again. It may sound ambitious, but I've already begun work on another upgrade, more difficult to perfect than the last. I wondered, would you be interested in joining forces again? There's another course near Arendelle that Miss Reyes has mastered. If you were to test this first upgrade there, it may help me as I develop the next. Oh, you'll consider it, won't you?
What more can you tell me about the next course?
It's just a jaunt from here, south of Hogsmeade. Beautiful mountain views. The course was designed to test flyer stamina. Some of your classmates mentioned they were headed there, eager to see what Imelda has in store. A bit surprising, considering many of them expressed reticence at the idea of racing against her at all. I hope that won't deter you, and you'll give the course a go. At least think on it.
Sounds as if you're really outdoing yourself. If I'm able to help, I will.
Thank you. I know this recent success was only the beginning of what I can do for Broom Flight. Report back as soon as you can, and we'll be off to the races.
He's giving us the broom upgrade at a discount, so he isn't exactly like making us do all of it, and it is pretty fun.
Off to the races then.
Glad you came.
Hello, Sirona. I received your owl. How are you?
Hello, my friend. Did you ever find Lodgok?
I did, thank you. In fact, we're working together to try and rein in Ranrock.
Are you? I suspected you and he would get along. Perhaps best I don't know details of your plans. And I shall refrain from telling you to be careful yet again. But I hope you will be.
Of course. Your owl mentioned you're needing my help with something.
I do. I thought you might be just the person to do a favour for my friend Dorothy Sprottle in Upper Hogsfield.
I don't believe I've met Mrs. Sprottle.
She's lovely. Her late husband Aidan was a friend of my father's. In fact, I'd stayed with Dot and Aidan the summers I waited tables here as a student. I've seen her a few times since Aidan passed, but the pub's been so busy lately, I've not been as attentive as I'd have liked. I wonder if you might pop in and see her. She may need some help collecting ingredients for her supply of Wiggenweld potion. And you could retrieve something of mine in the process. A box, full of old letters and such.
Why did Mr. and Mrs. Sprottle have your box of letters after all this time?
It's one of a few that I had when I was young. Dot found it when she was clearing out a closet. Can't imagine what's in there. Probably terribly theatrical. The ramblings of a teenage witch and her friends. You're welcome to take a peek inside, if you do find it. To be honest, I'd imagine it contains some lovely memories.
Why does Mrs. Sprottle keep a supply of Wiggenweld potion on hand?
Dot's a skilled potioneer. She's been supplying travelling vendors with Wiggenweld potion. An ordinary precaution that has, unfortunately, become a necessity, what with Ranrock's loyalists disrupting the trade routes.
I'll try to go and see her when I can.
It would mean the world to me, and to Dorothy. Aidan was bringing the box of letters to me when he was taken ill. Dot can tell you where he might have dropped it. You'll find the hamlet just north of Hogsmeade. Please do give Dot my love.
Bless me. I also did collect some demiguises.
Ah, Upper Hogsfield. Now, where to find Mrs. Sprottle?
Pretty sure I raided her house, but I don't think I spoke to her.
Shane Bardolph thought dark magic was the answer. I reckon Rookwood's played a hand in his disappearance.
Hello, Mrs. Sprottle. Actually, Sirona Ryan asked if I'd come and see you.
Oh, dear Sirona, a gem. Has been for as long as I've known her.
She thought you might need help collecting ingredients for your Wiggenweld potion.
And she's correct. My darling Aidan used to collect Horklumps for me. Since he died, my supply has dwindled.
I'm sorry for your loss, Mrs. Sprottle.
Oh, thank you. Love of my life. A bit lost without him. If you wouldn't mind gathering some Horklumps for me, I'd be happy to compensate you for your time.
I can certainly try and find some for you.
That would be wonderful. I'm worried about the travelling vendors and would love to get them more Wiggenweld potion.
Sirona also mentioned that Mr. Sprottle was bringing her a box of letters when he fell ill.
Indeed he was. I'd almost forgotten. I stumbled upon it just before Aidan died. He was hoping to go through it with Sirona over a butterbeer or two. Those two were always like two bowtruckles in a branch. Aidan took ill when he was collecting Horklumps on his way to see her. He made it home, but I fear he dropped the box in the cavern. The cavern is in the hills just southwest of our hamlet. You can gather Horklumps and collect the box of letters there.
Do you remember anything about the letters you put in the box?
Oh, of course. A few letters from some of her school friends. Some nice memories. I even included a letter Sirona had written to me when she was staying with us. Thought she might enjoy reading it. I know when I read writing from my youth, I'm always astonished at how much I've changed, and yet remain the same.
Sirona said she lived with you during the summers when she was at Hogwarts. What was she like?
Oh, goodness. Well, she was almost exactly like she is now. Charming, good head on her shoulders, taking care of everyone. I can't tell you the fun we had when she and her friends would visit us during the year, all buzzing about, practicing charms. Talented group. Her friend Mirabelle was a genius in the garden. Learned it all from her muggle parents, if you can believe it.
Thank you, Mrs. Sprottle.
Thank you. I'll be here if you are able to collect those hawk lumps. I, and the vendors I help, would greatly appreciate it.
Okay, I sneeze quite a bit. If I feel it coming, I try to mute, but sometimes you don't get a warning.
This must be the cavern Mrs. Sprottle mentioned.
I don't know how long this cave takes to reset, but it's referred to as Hawk Clump Hollow, and apparently is a very good place to get hawk clumps.
Lumos. Better have a look around, see if I can find that box of letters. Confringo!
In this cave, there's more than enough.
One more hawk to harvest.
More than enough to get what you need, even if you don't have any with you.
Revelio. Confringo. Lumos. Confringo.
Devil's Snare. You gotta love it and hate it.
Lumos.
Hello, fish. Apparently, there's a DLC on the way for Hogwarts Legacy. I'll probably end up playing it at some point, most likely as my Ravenclaw character, but it depends on when it comes out, I guess.
That's all the hawk for now. Mrs. Sprottle should be pleased.
And whether or not I have money to get it as soon as it does come out. If I do, then it'll be pretty soon after I get it. But okay, what's up here? But if not, then it'll be as soon as I can. Yeah, you can't always plan these things. Ooh, I ain't been here before. Ooh, conjuration chest. Okay. One less thing to track down, I guess.
Either I'll have to fight that troll, or avoid it altogether.
Yeah, I'm going for avoid. Bye! I'm not in the mood for troll fighting, especially one that's way above my level. Hello, squirrel. Shame hearing that red squirrels are nearly extinct in the UK.
Lumos.
They were our native, but now we've got too many grey squirrels. It's one reason why wildlife centres won't treat grey squirrels. Beautiful pig, okay. Shame, I mean the only main difference is their fur colour, but I can understand. Reds are our native squirrels, so we should try and keep our natives. You know, squirrels are the only species that will actively seek out humans if they need help. Like if they're orphaned, the babies will instinctively seek out humans to take care of them. I hate steak and kidney pie. Personally, I'm not a fan of raspberries, but I prefer strawberries.
I think that's everything. Sirona will be glad to have this back. This must be Sirona's box of letters. I should find Mrs. Sprottle. She'll be glad to get these horklumps.
Okay, I've pulled up my notes and my online guides. Finding stuff can be rather
It's
hard.
like a place right out of a...
Bardo Beaumont should have returned by now. Had by dark wizards he was.
Hello, Mrs. Sprottle. I have good news. I was able to harvest some horklumps for you, and I found Sirona's box of letters.
Oh, thank you. How wonderful. The travelling vendors will be thrilled to replenish their stock of Wiggenweld potion. And Sirona will be delighted to have those letters. How kind of you. Now you be careful heading back to Hogsmeade.
I should take this box of letters to Sirona. She'll be glad to have it back.
I like how the guy who plays music is found pretty much everywhere. Like every town. Whew.
Hello, Sirona. I have good news. I was able to provide your friend Mrs. Sprottle with some Horklumps for her Wiggenweld potion, and I found your box of letters.
Oh, thank you. I knew you were the one to ask.
I wondered about some of the letters in the box.
Of course. It appears most of the letters were from fellow students.
I spotted a letter from you to Mrs. Sprottle. You two seem to have a lot of fun together.
We do. She taught me so much during my summers with her and Aidan. I shall be the first to admit that adolescents aren't always the easiest to understand. And not everyone was as kind to me as the Sprottles. But the depth of their kindness, and that of so many of my friends, got me through... well, got me through some challenging times, to put it mildly.
One of the letters mentioned Quidditch practice. Did you play?
I did. Was the Ravenclaw Seeker for 3 years. Oh, Merlin's beard. I adore Quidditch. Nothing like the feeling of catching the golden snitch when your team's down by 140 points. I'll never forgive Professor Black for cancelling it this year. I missed cheering for Ravenclaw. We could have cheered them on together.
I saw a letter from someone named Mirabelle. Is that Professor Garlick?
It is. Still one of my dearest friends. I know she wouldn't mind you having seen that letter. She and I are of a similar mind, especially when it comes to young people. We believe experience to be an invaluable teacher. To borrow a phrase from Mirabelle, it's a joy to see anyone blossom, but particularly one who doubted they ever would.
I'm glad I could be of help. Mrs. Sprottle sends her best.
Don't know what I'd have done without her and Aidan. Thank you, again, for helping her, and for returning this box of letters. It's nice to reflect on good memories. I'll say it again. Can't thank you enough for helping to save the village from those trolls.
Here we are. Mr. Weeks wasn't wrong about the mountain views.
If it isn't the fastest Ravenclaw.
You can get all sorts of clothing and plaids. Not just common wear either. I've seen rare garments that are very powerful, I'd imagine. I can't say I feel the need for that sort of thing, mind. I'd be quite content with a new pair of socks.
Hello, Melda. So, Another trial?
Of course it's another trial. And you'd better be taking part.
Does this mean you've changed your mind about me?
Well, you're a step up from the good-for-nothings who usually challenge me. While they sit around and hope to be the best, I put in hours of practice. No one sets records by wishing for them, and I need strong competition to stay on top of my game. Are you going to try to beat my flying record or not?
Strong competition? Could that have been a compliment, Imelda?
Go ahead, believe what you want. Makes no difference. Compliments make people soft. No one goes round telling me I did a fine job. Do I care? No. I say I'm the best, and that's all I need. So please, try to beat my record, 5th year, and don't be disappointed when you lose.
I'm ready to fly.
Finally, a decent challenge.
I'd say that was acceptable. Brilliant! Brilliant! Made it! Brilliant! I'm getting the hang of this.
You've improved, I must admit. That was a bloody good run. Be careful. Earn a reputation for talent around here, and some people get put out about it.
Sounds like you're speaking from experience.
Yes, well, I am. Anyway, you didn't do abysmally. I can't deny that. But you'll not have the same luck on the South Coast course.
You said your reputation for talent put some people out. Like whom?
If you must know, I've had to deal with jealousy from members of my own house. When we were first years, Nerida Roberts and I spent loads of time on our brooms, pledged to fly every day. As my skill on a broom grew, rapidly I might add, Nerida suddenly didn't have time for flying practice. I tried to give her pointers, but she didn't have the natural ability I did. Clearly, she was jealous. Poor thing spends all her time now dawdling by the lake, obsessed with merpeople. Won't even learn to swim. I refuse to downplay my talents to coddle someone else's fragile ego. Anyway, I need to ready the next course. Stop by when it's ready, if you can handle it.
We'll see, won't we? Till next time.
I half expected you to back down. Rest on your laurels. See you at the South Coast trial, if you don't lose your nerve. To race this course again, visit the podium with the leaderboard, where you can start the race and check your time.
I love switching spells. Thought my brother's treacle tart for a fish pie.
Another successful flight.
Still won't eat the
I
rest.
should let Mr. Weeks know.
Whew. Those flights tend to give me... I need to concentrate on those. I told you to stay at this altitude. Why'd you go down?
Revelio.
There's often landing platforms near where balloons are. Kinda because they're both broomstick related, probably. Makes it easier to find them. So if you find balloons, there's a good chance that there's one nearby. Not always, but a good chance. The blue ones are from Madame Kagawa and are part of her assignments.
That's it.
Well, look in the area and I think you'll find there's quite often a landing platform in the area. It's normally either under the balloons themselves or the balloons lead to them. Red ones, so these ones are here all the time. Till they're popped. So we've done the balloons, and Revelio will sometimes reveal where the landing platform is, if it's nearby. Which, for that one, doesn't look like there's a landing platform. Well, you gotta admit, GTA does the job well.
Revelio.
Yep, there it is, landing platform. That's what it looks like.
These rocks have seen better days.
What? Last time I was in Lower Oxfield.
With Revelio. Just stand on it, till the flames light, and you're good to go.
Revelio.
Yes, I do. But I do have a child on the way, so child's kind of taking priority. And here's another landing platform.
Revelio.
Yes, I am pregnant. I did tell people in my last channel update, but I don't think too many people saw it. Which is why my streams have been a bit higgledy-piggledy since August, which is when I found out. Okay, because when you find that out, it's kind of hard to keep it secret for a while, so I needed at least a week to compose myself.
There we go.
Trying to keep it from family was bad enough, but not mentioning it on a stream for the week you find out, much harder. So I just took like 2 weeks off. 1, to compose myself, and 2, because I was on a family holiday. So yeah, watch my most recent channel update and you should get most of the details.
I can always rely on my Patronus to keep me safe. At least I think so.
How come we don't learn the Patronus charm in this game?
You're back from your latest flight. I want to hear all the particulars.
Good news, Mr. Weeks. With your upgrade, I was able to set a new record at the Irondale course.
Brilliant! I knew the upgrade had fantastic potential. How did your broom feel?
It rides well. Does get a tad shaky at top speed, and the handle wobbles a bit when I hit a strong gust of wind.
Ah, yes. I see. I think I know how to address that. Thank you. I owe you one.
If it means another upgrade, the pleasure's all mine.
You sound as determined as I am to improve broom flight. It's a joy to have a collaborator like yourself. If I'm right, and I do hope I am, you'll be hearing good news from me soon. Thank you again, truly.
Okay, I shared it via a post, so that should make it easier for you to find. I did my update in September because by then I was past the 3 months mark. Yes, I found out when I was already nearly 2 months along. And by that time I'd also let my family know. Like, I'm not telling YouTube until my family knows. I'm gonna have to see about pre-recording some videos though. For when the baby's due. Because until I know this baby's schedule, it's gonna be hard to stream and whatnot.
Welcome back. Have you finished your assignments?
Reporting back, Professor. Assignment's all finished.
Well done. Shows good discipline. Wisdom is a golden snitch, as they say, and you're proving a skilled seeker in that regard. Let us practice our restore momentum. A charm, incidentally, created to stop quaffles from plummeting straight to the ground during a Quidditch match. Precise, deliberate movements. Very good. I recommend practicing your new spell as much as possible. Perhaps before you leave here. That's it. Keep it up.
Professor, do you have a moment?
Yes, what is it?
In class, I heard you mention the Toyohashi Quidditch team.
I did. The Toyohashi Tengu are from Japan. Dominant, known for their rigorous training. They practice near the Mahutokoro School of Magic, often battling both tempestuous seas and violent storms, in addition to each other. Tournament play is almost always easier for the Tengu than their training sessions.
I take it you're a fan.
Fan? I was being groomed to play on their team. And I would have been a Tengu, if not for a bit of bad luck.
If you were that good, I can't believe a bit of bad luck could end your entire Quidditch career.
I was excellent. My ability on a broom had nothing to do with what happened. I was betrayed by someone I trusted. Myself. I did not see clearly and I paid a dear price. My best friend Asuka and I were being groomed to play on the team together. I as keeper and she as chaser. She was breathtaking. She once corkscrewed through 3 players and scored before they even turned their heads. But as tryouts for the Tengu got closer, she panicked. I did not realize the extent of her panic until it was too late. She wanted so desperately for both of us to play together that she had slipped Felix Felicis into our tea before we were to show them our skills.
What is Felix Felicis? A potion?
Also known as liquid luck. And it is illegal in all wizarding sports. I knew within minutes that something was different. I had never played so well. And Asuka was playing more beautifully than I had ever seen. When I confronted her afterwards, she admitted what she had done. I withdrew from consideration immediately.
But it wasn't your fault. You didn't know about the potion in the tea.
It does not matter. My flying that day was not my own. I could not live with myself. So, I withdrew and explained to them why. I burned my broom in disgrace.
What happened to Asuka? Did she burn her broom as well?
Asuka played for the Tengu for 2 seasons.
You didn't report her. Tell them what she'd done.
Her fate was not mine to decide. My fate is in my hands, as your fate is in yours.
Thank you, Professor. I shall remember what you've told me.
You're right. The Western community don't normally hide it, but there is a reason why we hide it for a bit. It's, well, the first trimester, the first 3 months are the most risky. So quite a few families don't tell anyone they're pregnant in case a miscarriage happens. Once you're out of that danger zone, then it's quite normal to tell someone. By the time I found out, I was already 2.5 months along. So I didn't have to wait too long to be able to tell my family and be out of that immediate danger zone. Thankfully, I only had like 2 or 3 weeks to go, so... The only immediate people I told was my mum, my dad, and my partner. So after I passed that, I was like, then I can tell my family. Okay, I'm at the end of the first trimester, I can tell my family, I can tell YouTube, and I can start preparing, because with each passing week, the risk of a miscarriage goes down drastically.
Of Woodcroft certainly knew how to plan. Please, come in. Let me know if you need help finding anything.
But yes, you can tell people before that. It's just easier on everyone if you wait.
I suspect you have a sharp eye for fashion. Be sure to stop by whenever you're about.
So I found out in like mid-August, and and by the calculations, I had been pregnant since about late June, without even realizing it. I took a pregnancy test in August because, hang on, I was like, I haven't had my cycle in over a month.
I'll fix him. That child.
And while, yes, women can miss their cycles every now and then, I decided it was better to be safe than sorry. Is this really something I should be talking about on YouTube? Possibly not. Let's go to Feldcroft. But yeah, actually, my baby's due in late March. It's been a few months since I found out, so but it's like late June, early July is when I became pregnant. So yeah, I told my family on a holiday in August. Mostly because I didn't want to keep it secret too long. But I had to wait to tell YouTube until I was at least 3 months, which is why the update's from September. Okay, and I know when my cycle should be turning up. And when I missed one, I was like, okay, time to take a test, just to be safe. Because, I mean, you're going on a holiday, you want to know whether or not it's safe for you to drink. Okay, I'm 27, and if I wanted to have alcohol on holiday, I would need to know if it was safe for me to do so. Would that impact the child? So I took a test, like, a week before holiday. A week, 2 weeks, can't remember. Keeping it from my brother was fun.
You'll enjoy your time in Irondale.
Okay. Yeah, I'm not too good at remembering dates. Which is why I use a lot of apps to help me remember. I should have it on. Yeah, I don't care about McDonald's. Don't tempt me. Calendar. When did I find out? I know I wrote a note. Yeah, I found out on July 29th. By that time I was already 6 weeks. Yikes. And I told my family in August. And then I told YouTube in September. You Jewish, Muslim? Whereabouts are you from anyway? Why? I'm in Europe. As in, like, England.
Leave your accusations in someone else's direction.
Like, I live in England. Okay. India. That's one of the most populated countries. And often battles with China for that title of the most populated country in the world. But yeah, I mean, I don't drink much, but a family holiday, you maybe want to have, like, a drink with your family at, like, dinner or something. But, well, the only time I normally drink is New Year.
Feldcroft in an instant. If you see dear Anne Sallow, please do give her my best.
So it's like the main time I drink is New Year and maybe Christmas. The rest of the time, I am pretty sober. Okay, but it's nice to know. That way, if you feel like having a drink, you know whether or not it's safe to have it. Which is why I made sure to take a test before my family holiday. Okay. Yeah, I can understand that, but... well, we have alcohol-free variants of drinks, So I like a good Copperberg cider, and there's an alcohol version and a non-alcohol version. So by taking the test, I knew if I was able to have the alcohol version or if I had to stick to non-alcoholic. The problem I had with hiding it from my family is my food eating habits went all over the place. I normally clear a plate or two of food, and I couldn't even finish one plate. So that raised some suspicions. And I found out how well my 19-year-old nephew can keep a secret. Because my nephew had to hide 3 secrets from the family. One from his dad, and one from my nan, well, his nan, my mum, and one from me. Because we was all planning to reveal it on the same day. My brother proposed to his girlfriend. My mum revealed a gift for a family friend that had sentimental value. I won't get into that. And they also revealed I was pregnant. To like 18 other people. So there was 18 people there. And my mum said, does that mean all 19 of us are invited to the wedding? And everyone went, hang on, there's only 18 people here. So that was fun. My brother thought I'd been off my meds, and I'm like, no, I've been taking my meds. It's just you got another niece or nephew on the way. My sister was not impressed about being kept out the loop. Mostly because she prides herself of staying in the loop. Okay, let's have a look at talent points while I ramble. That'll be handy on the rare occasion I cast it. So, yeah. We found out how well my nephew can keep secrets. Recapping all of this is hell. But in a week, I have my 20-week scan and I should find out the gender. Hopefully. If the baby's in a position where the doctor can actually see what gender it is. So that should be fun. Okay, now enough of me to... my mum told him because she wanted my nephew to be cameraman. And she had to tell him to keep rolling the camera when the reveals were done. And he was like, oh, okay. But he understandably wanted to know why. So Mum kinda, well, scared him to hell and then gave him the shock of his life. Because you do not want to anger your nan. Hey, and it's like, his family have trusted him with 3 very important secrets, and he didn't want to let us down. So he just shut himself in his room when he wasn't doing activities on the holiday, so that he wouldn't blurt out secrets. Because at that time, Mum was the only one who knew all 3 surprises. And she had to let him in so that he knew to keep filming. So at least I know I can trust my nephew with secrets at 19 years old. Okay, let me have a look. I have planned LPs in advance. Quite a few of them, which is why I've got a lot of paper. How many pages do I have here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. "15 pages worth of LP notes. Ugh. And I've still got more I need to write. Ugh. Well, I suppose my bump that's developing will prove a good lap tray rest. Though Mum has warned me that babies like to kick right when you place your cup of tea on your bump. It likes to kick it. Oh, and then it likes to kick you in the ribs. So I'm not looking forward to that bit. I don't really have much of a bump, which is why I haven't needed to buy any maternity clothes. I can still fit into my regular clothes. Thankfully, because I don't like shopping. But I do have a small bump. It's just not a very big bump. Where's my lap tray? I'll say this, if my baby does not let me eat my mother's stew this year, I will not be impressed. I like that stew. And if baby don't like it, I'm going to throw a fit. Okay. Yes, well, I'm in that zone when it should start becoming more noticeable. Okay, between 18 to 22 weeks. And I'm at 19 weeks. Okay. I need to do research on that one. Then there's one that I have not played at all. Then there's another series. That one's questionable. I need more games. And Samurai's borrowing that one, so I have to wait for him to give it back. Bless me. Okay. Yeah, some bumps show themselves quicker, others don't, but mine's in the do I show myself or don't I phase. So I've got a little bump. In the UK, we're told that it starts showing up in the 2nd to 3rd trimester, which is where you are, and I am partway through my 2nd trimester, so it should be showing up soon. Hopefully, because my niece is like, I don't see the bump. My 10-year-old niece, whose name I cannot mention for legal reasons, is going, Auntie, are you even pregnant? I don't see a bump like they show on TV. And I'm like, it's there. It just ain't showing up much. Right? You can notice it when I wear skin-tight trousers, which thankfully still fit, and a strappy top. But if I put my fleece on the top of that, you're not going to notice the bump. Okay, it also depends on where the baby is. If the baby's towards the back of the womb, then you may not have a more obvious bump until it moves. Some women don't get a bump at all. Which is when the baby decides it wants to tuck under your ribs, apparently. Okay, but each bump is different. Okay. And I think we've been spending way too much time talking about my baby. Okay. Yes, it depends. Each pregnancy is different and they will definitely change if it's with a different partner. But my bump is showing a little, but not much. Though I have a very stretchy pair of leggings that I can like pull outwards and I look like a kangaroo holding open its pouch that you see on like Winnie the Pooh. And it's like, these should stretch all the way to my third trimester. I have a little bump, which is noticeable mostly when I stand up, but if I'm laying down, it's much harder to see. Okay, it's kind of the bump that baggy clothes or a jacket can hide quite well. But if you're not wearing a baggy clothes or a jacket, then people will see it. Though I don't think India has a lot of reasons to have a jacket. Main thing I know about India is World of Spices and hellish traffic. And the one place you do not want to be stuck in a commute. Okay, now let's go and talk to Sebastian. Hey? I do have a Twitter and a Facebook page that I don't often pay attention to, should you wish to communicate with me more about this.
You made it.
Enjoying the view?
Keeping an eye on things. Feldcroft isn't what it used to be. No one has felt safe here since Ranrock's loyalists took a peculiar interest in that castle over there. Rookwood Castle. My uncle Solomon is a former Auror and refuses to look into it, even after Anne was cursed by one of them. Possibly with a wand, no less.
I heard a goblin refer to wizard kind as wand carriers. Are goblins forbidden from carrying wands?
Precisely. That's why I'm on the hunt for answers. If I'm to cure her, I need to understand what happened to her. Anne was always the most mischievous of the three of us. Which is saying something, knowing me and Ominous. I'm hoping a surprise visit from me and a new friend from Hogwarts will help lift her spirits. Bring back the Anne I used to know. Come on. I'll take you to my uncle's. This way. Feldcroft used to be a lot livelier. with Ranrock's lot wandering about all the time. Everyone stays out of sight. Here we are. My sister should be just inside.
Aha! Sebastian, where did you...
Is that what I think it is?
We've been over this, boy.
Hey.
Shrivelfigs cannot reverse a curse. Nothing can. The sooner you accept that reality, the better.
But we haven't tried everything.
There is no cure! When will you accept that?
Never. I can never accept it.
Now look what you've done.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry you had to see that. If you don't mind, I just need a moment alone.
Poor Sebastian. Not the visit he'd hoped for.
I'm sorry about earlier. Those bouts of pain are difficult to bear.
Are you all right, Anne? I didn't mean to intrude.
You didn't, truly. And I'm all right. The pain from this curse comes in bouts, and often suddenly. It's not anyone's fault. It's nice to meet you, by the way. You must be the new 5th year Sebastian told me about.
I am. Sebastian and I met during a rather lively duel in defense against the dark arts.
Oh, dear Professor Hecat. She's a powerful witch. And she knows how to keep students like my brother, and me, in line. I do miss Hogwarts, but I wouldn't mind being in Feldcroft, really, if it wasn't so dreary now. Between the goblins at the castle and my uncle fighting with Sebastian whenever he's home, it's not the cozy retreat it once was.
Sebastian mentioned something about your uncle being an ex-Auror, but refusing to go after Ranrock's loyalists. I must say, I wasn't prepared for him to be as angry as he was.
Uncle Solomon is frustrated by what happened to me, and by Sebastian for thinking he can fix it. They both mean well, I know they do, but my uncle is right. This curse cannot be undone. I can feel it. Sebastian cannot take away my pain. Perhaps you can help him to understand that.
I'll do my best. I can promise to speak with him about it.
Thank you. His search for a cure is futile, I'm afraid. I'm getting tired. I should probably rest. Thank you for stopping by. I wish you well.
That boy will fray my last nerve.
Excuse me, Mr. Sallow.
Oh, yes, Sebastian's friend. I apologize on behalf of my nephew. He doesn't know when to stop. I was about to check on Anne. Did I see you come from the house? How is she?
She's all right. She said she was going to rest.
Nothing can be done for her.
I'm so sorry. I understand you've tried everyone from Nurse Blaney to St. Mungo's to no avail.
We have. My nephew thinks he knows better than the healers.
Perhaps the healers don't know everything, sir. Sebastian is single-mindedly focused on finding a way to help his sister. If there is a cure, he will find it.
Your faith in Sebastian is misplaced. Some sort of dark magic cursed Anne. and the goblins aren't likely to explain themselves anytime soon. Giving her hope is cruel. The only thing to do now is keep Anne comfortable and stay out of the Loyalists' way.
With all due respect, sir, hope could keep Anne's spirits up.
You may mean well, but I know what's best for Anne and Sebastian. They are my stubborn brother's children. Especially Sebastian. If you really want to be of help, you'll make sure Sebastian does what he should do, not what he wants to do. He's no idea the harm he could do if he doesn't stop. I hope you remember what I've said. Good day.
I ought to see how Sebastian's faring.
Okay, I don't know much about India. But, I remember what my mother told me about a time when she had to share a house with some Indian families, and they would stink out the entire house with the smell of their Indian cooking. To the point where now, Mum can't even be in an Indian area. Right? The smell of Indian cooking makes her feel nauseous, which is why we don't have Indian very often. Okay, but like I said, I don't know much about India. My geography teacher was not the best. Hey, you want to learn about the history of Canary Wharf? Or Tilbury Docks? If I want to know about Tilbury Docks, I'll go to my aunt. She lives in Tilbury. Okay, I wanted to learn how to read maps. Okay, in foreign countries. Not things that are like 20 miles away. My history teacher was nice, but she covered subjects I already know. Hitler and suffragettes. Seriously, I want to know about Hitler, I go talk to my grandfather. Then there's more than enough TV shows on that. Hey, tell me about the First World War. Tell me about the Peloponnesian War, which I know from playing Assassin's Creed. Hey, tell me about things that aren't, like... Yeah. The smell that they used to leave in the kitchen, and it was a communal kitchen, so it's not like Mum had much of a choice, would just make Mum want to throw up. It was that strong. But this was at a time when Mum was struggling financially, so... Yeah, well, my sister is allergic to garlic. But she doesn't know what spices they were using, probably ones they had sent home for. Like, hey, family, can you send us some spices from India, because what we got here is not good, apparently. And it just aggravated my mum's nose. Yeah, well, Mum didn't have much of a choice, and now she avoids Indian whenever possible. So if we are to get an Indian, we eat it upstairs, so that we don't make Mum feel nauseous. Yeah, I did a little bit of research on future LPs. Yeah, I know there's Indian elephants and African elephants, and if I remember correctly, Indian elephants have slightly smaller ears. That's about as far as my knowledge about India goes. Yes. So, well, it's one reason why Indian food is one of the few cultures I haven't explored. We love a good Chinese. Mum just doesn't like Indian. So yeah, I know the difference between African elephants and Indian elephants is the size, and I believe that Indian elephants have the smaller ear size. But then again, I get mixed up on what country's where. Like, is India Africa or Asia? That's how bad my geography teacher was. It's like, can I learn how to read a map, please? I believe India's on one of those countries that marks the border between the two continents, but I could be wrong. I know it's bloody hot there. The problem is, we have an Indian restaurant at the outskirts of the village that we live in. Yeah, I know, you're kind of a mix of all of them, aren't you? Yeah. It's like you've got the eyes of Asian, and then it's like your skin's half Caucasian, half black, and you mash it all together. Yes, I live in a village on the outskirts of London. London's like a train ride away. Thankfully, we're far enough from it that we don't smell it. It's like the roundabout that leads out of the village towards the nearest town is where the restaurant is, and thankfully we don't have to pass it too often. Especially in winter, because we have the windows up. I ate there once, but it's like they give us a chicken curry and there's like loads of sauce, and I'm like, where's the damn chicken? Because it's a fine dining Indian restaurant. It's like, where's the chicken? I ordered a chicken curry. It's about as much of Indian cuisine as I know, and okay. Yeah, well, it was like all sauce and rice, and I'm like, that's nice, but can I have some like chunks that I paid for? It's like minuscule portions with buffalo prices. One reason why we don't go there. Okay, now let's talk to Sebastian and get off the topic of food.
Why will he not listen to me? She's my sister.
How are you doing, Sebastian?
You got a first-hand glance of what I'm dealing with. I apologize for my uncle.
I know he's angry, but he's only trying to do what he thinks is best for Anne.
He's always angry. He's been angry since my parents died. After Anne was hurt, he only grew worse. It's as though he blames me somehow, always calling me my father's son, as if that's an insult. I'm the one trying to help her. He's simply given up.
Both Anne and your uncle seem genuinely convinced that nothing more can be done for her.
I refuse to believe that. Anne's pain is more than physical. It has changed her entirely. I miss my sister. And I'm going to get her back. Come with me. I need to show you where it happened. Ranrock's loyalists are capable of so much more than people realize. They should not be underestimated. All the debris you'll see is from whatever's going on at that abandoned estate. They've been digging for something. Up there, on that plateau, is where they cursed Anne. This way.
No, we don't. English food is some of the blandest food you could probably find. Okay? Think Italian hearty, but without the Italian flavour, and you've got a pretty good idea of what our food can be like. Okay? It's using a lot of potatoes. Probably because potatoes are one of the few things that can grow here natively. Okay, we got sausage and mash, also referred to as bangers and mash. We got shepherd's pie, cottage pie. Yes, there is a difference. Okay, we got beef or lamb Wellington. Okay, we got pie and mash, which is actually in the process of becoming a British staple and legally protected as a British staple. The only time we have spices is normally when we're having something like chili con carne, which I don't even know what culture that comes from. Okay, but nature is all about population control. Right? You gotta have predators in the food chain to keep things stable. We're the predators to most predators. Okay? We will hunt down the lions, the tigers, the buffalo, which can kill. I know enough about that. Okay? And we cook them, eat up, and eat them. So we're the population control for predators. The problem is, there's too many humans nowadays for the predators to be able to survive and keep in balance. So that's why we started farming chickens, ducks, cows, and lambs. Well, some people do. You can. People in Africa probably did at one point. Okay, so that's why we started farming animals for food, because there was too many humans for the predators. Okay, we were kind of the species that eat everything, kind of like a black or brown bear. We eat whatever we can find. Okay, that's why we're omnivores. Okay, we can eat fruits and berries and meat like a brown bear or a black bear. Black bears tend to eat more fruit though, but they do eat fish occasionally. I mean, I've never had lion meat, but I'm sure people in Africa have had it at one point. Probably back before hunting buffalo and gazelle was a thing. I don't know. I mean, Chinese have shark fin soup, which apparently is the blandest thing in eternity according to Gordon Ramsay, and is very cruel, because they just cut off the fins and then toss the shark back and let it die. Okay? So, because there's so many of us, we have to breed animals for their meat. But with yaks, they're the best all-round animal. You get fur, which can be turned into cloth. Okay? The Himalayan tribes are known for doing this. They will weave yak fur into a tent that can last 40 years or more. That's making use of material. True, but you need to think. Okay? There's population control. It's gonna die somehow, and nature doesn't like to waste anything. Okay? You take what you need, leave the rest to the wolves and jackals. If you're in Africa. And nature will take care of the rest. True, but remember, we're part of that food chain, so we need to take care of ourselves. We don't need to, but we're born to. Okay, otherwise we would not have evolved and we would not be on this planet. Okay, so yaks, you can turn their fur into a tent or blanket that will last over 40 years. They can be milked. Hey? Which is another source. So you've got lamb and cow in one animal already. Okay, you've got fur and milk. Then, they can also pull strong loads, so that's equivalent to a horse. And then you, when they get too old to calve, give babies, or be milked, you kill them for their meat. So you're not wasting anything, and the wolves will come down later and eat the bones. Personally, I prefer meat that I know where it's come from, but you can't always do that. Yeah. I mean, yaks are a very versatile species. You get the wool from them like you would a sheep. You get milk from them like you would a cow or a goat, and you can get meat from them. Yes, as is half the planet. Most of the planet. I believe the best way to eat an animal is, 1, you know where it came from. 2, you know how it died. Okay? Because then the meat's safer and you know it ain't got that much bacteria in it. Okay? The Alaskans do that quite a bit. They will farm their own meat, they will fish, and the rest they just take from nature only what they need. Okay? That's what nature's designed for. Take what you need, leave the rest. Nature will handle the disposal. Okay? You take what you need from a carcass, you leave the rest, and the wolves will come and clean it up. Okay, I mean, think. Lions hunt, and then the scavengers come in and clean off what the lions don't eat. Wolves will do that for human kills. But we've got to remember to only take what we need. No, thank you. I think we've gone into this topic deep enough. I'm going to go back to listening to Sebastian.
How much longer are we expected to dig through this rubble? Ranrock knows what he's doing. It's an honor to be a part of it. Only good wizard is a dead wizard in my book.
What was that? What?
I won't rest. Let's get this over with. Rather unwise coming back this way. I will make you pay. You've made your last mistake. I'll bury you in the deepest vault. One less quiet enough. I won't rest. Son of arrogance. I will make you. How nice. I won't rest. Oh, little moon calf. Your spells glance off of me.
Confess. That was a bit more than I bargained for. I tried to warn you.
Those loyalists deserved what they got.
Couldn't agree more. This is where it happened. We smelled smoke in the middle of the night. When we looked outside, flames were shooting from the estate. Before my uncle and I could stop her, Anne rushed out, racing towards the fire, worried someone had been hurt. She came face to face with a horde of goblins, frantically trying to stamp out the flames. Suddenly, an icy voice drifted out from somewhere in the smoke. Children should be seen and not heard. A blinding blast followed. They didn't even give her a chance to run.
Seems an awfully violent response to a child wandering by. What were they trying to hide?
My thoughts exactly. It may be grasping at Billywigs, but I keep thinking that there might be something here that could lead me to whoever cursed Anne. Might be the only way to learn what type of magic harmed her, which could help me find a cure.
Perhaps you're right. The Loyalists are everywhere, but they do seem to be spending a lot of time here, and it's likely they're hiding something.
And at Rookwood Castle. Shall we have a look around? They seem to have set up camp here for a specific reason. They have stations for everything.
Always armed and ready for a fight, Ranrock's Loyalists.
I've heard goblin dig sites like these are popping up everywhere.
It's a wonder the Ministry isn't doing more. Whose home was this?
Been abandoned long since I've lived here. Rumour was, a Hogwarts professor lived here once, centuries ago. But that's all I ever heard. It might be worth taking a closer look at the house itself.
This well looks familiar. Sebastian, I've seen this before. The house, the well, the view.
What do you mean? When?
Give me a moment. I'll explain in a second. Sebastian, over here. Do you think this was damaged by the fire the night that Anne was cursed?
Could be. But it looks to me as though this was intentional.
Sebastian, this house did belong to a Hogwarts professor, hundreds of years ago.
Who? What do you...
I found a pensive that day in the restricted section, with a memory that showed this house. There was a little girl and a drought. The keepers have shown me other memories as well. The girl became a Hogwarts professor. Her name was Isadora Morganach. She was one of the keepers.
The keepers? Like in Quidditch? And you found a pensive in the library? I'm not following you.
I realize it's a lot to take in. I'm not even sure I understand it all yet. And no, not like Quidditch. They call themselves keepers because they're protecting some type of knowledge. It all has to do with the vault at Gringotts.
Let me see if I've got this straight. You have Ranrock and Rookwood after you because of something you found at Gringotts where you ended up via a portkey. You can see traces of an ancient magic that you think Ranrock is trying to harness. And now you've been witnessing memories left by keepers. Oh, and this house belonged to a Hogwarts professor who was one of these non-Quidditch keepers hundreds of years ago. If I didn't know you, I'd think you were pulling my leg.
It is all a bit much, isn't it? When you put it like that. The point is, we both have good reason to search this house. You for answers about what happened to Anne, and me for answers about the keepers.
Look at this.
Someone piled this here for a reason. Is it blocking something?
Only one way to find out. Huh, a stairwell. Stairwell.
There might be something here worth a closer look. Lumos.
They've left all of this simply strewn about. Tells me they're after something bigger.
Journal entry of Isadora's. I should hold on to this. Seems these journal entries are from Isadora's travels. Confringo! Lumos. You're not going to believe this. I can see the Undercroft.
What? A daydream? Because that happens to me too.
I know it sounds strange,
Honestly, nothing you say sounds strange to me anymore.
Fair enough. I can see the Undercroft through this stone wall, as though it's a window. This has happened before.
I'm listening.
I think it's to do with my ability to see traces of ancient magic.
But you said you didn't really understand it, and that you couldn't wield it.
That's true, and I'm still not sure what it all means. What I do know is that my ability allows me to travel through these windows I see.
Wait. We can get straight to the Undercroft from here. Ominous will be flawed.
We can, but perhaps best not to tell anyone else about this for now. Even Ominous.
Understood. Well then, invisible, secret, ancient magic passageway? Here we come. I'm tempted to hold my breath. Why would the door lead us here?
Sebastian, look. Why hide a triptych here?
Seems as if something's missing.
A note. Let's have a look.
Anything helpful in the note?
A rune symbol. I've seen similar symbols used by the keepers.
I've been thinking. A keeper lived in that house centuries ago, and Ranrock and his lot have been searching there. You said that goblins may be wielding some form of this ancient magic. Do you think Anne was cursed by ancient magic?
I can't be sure, of course, but I don't think so. I didn't see any traces of it around your sister.
Very well. but that doesn't mean it's not ancient magic. There's still so much we don't know about it.
True. Perhaps this triptych will lead us to answers.
Then we'll have to unravel what this all means. But now I need to see Ominous. Don't worry, I won't tell him anything. Did I mention that, apparently, Salazar Slytherin had a secret scriptorium here, in Hogwarts?
You did not. Sounds worth looking into. Any idea where in the castle?
No idea. Ominous just learned of it. I'll let you know what I find out. I had no idea our visit to see Anne would unfold into all of this. My head's an utter mess. But I'm glad you told me everything you did. I'll be in touch. Till then.
I think my head would be a mess too.
Meet me near the ruins of Falbaton Castle. After dark. Do not tell anyone.
Come on, laptop. Laptop's on a go slow. I seriously need to save up again.
Run off to?
I ain't heard that quote before, but anyway.
This Daedalian Keys challenge is coming along nicely. That's it. I'm making good progress with these tokens. Another house token for the house chest. Here we go. The last house token. Time to see what's inside. Look at that. Thanks goes to the former headmistress, Eupraxia Mole.
Okay.
I've always said that travel broadens the mind.
Were you able to follow one of the Daedalian keys?
Hello, Nellie. Actually, I've found all of the keys and opened my house chest.
Oh, wonderful. What did you find?
I found a rather interesting costume.
Brilliant. Whew. Well, thank you for solving that mystery for me. I always wondered what those keys would lead to.
Lumos.
Helps if my mic is on. Okay, so I think I'm going to leave it here for today, and next time we will attend astronomy class and then see what Natty wants. So until then, take care of yourselves, and I will see you next time. Goodbye!